God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's done good to me. Let me tell you, God has everybody, sometimes, He has set me everybody, I feel so good. Oh yeah, one more time, yeah. Every day of my life, I feel it. You give me strength and energy. Help me to sing. He's been good to me. Oh yeah.
This is Reverend Al Sharpton of Brooklyn, New York. I've been traveling around the country talking to the radio announcers, the church people, and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body, if He woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King saying,
God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me.
then I see as Dr. King went on, another man stepped into the forefront by the name of John F. Kennedy, who rose up and said, let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God done smile on us.
Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. One more time. I want to say it real slow. I'll say God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Pick it up. God has smiled on me. He's been good.
Then I went on by backstage at the Apollo Theater and I saw a man come out. They call him the King of Soul, James Brown. And James Brown said, Reverend, don't you worry. I started out as a shoe shine boy. I started out as a convict. I started out uneducated. But I learned to sing my song. And I sung it all over the world. I told him it was a man's world. I told him about the big payback. I told him Papa got a brand new bag. And all over the world, they can hear my voice. But Reverend, don't you frown. Don't you bow your head. Tell him what you told me, Brother Brown.
God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to scream, y'all. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. He has set me free.
the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If he woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King saying, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you.
It's Friday, November 21st. Do you know what time it is? It's Sharpton's time. And for the next 3 hours, it's time to put aside all pretenses, deception, denial, or fronting. The time has come to keep it real or keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton. A very good afternoon to you all across the country. Good morning to our West Coast listeners. Welcome to those listening on Sirius XM, channel 126, The Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. I'm coming to you live from our National Action Network corporate headquarters in New York. It's Exhale Friday. Whatever's on your mind, whatever's in your heart, all you have to do is call me at 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. And you can be heard all over the country, every state, every region of the country. Don't go into this weekend holding anything back. So much has happened this week. You ought to express yourself. Let it out, let it out, let it out. All you have to do is go to 1-877-532-5797 or go on our message board, and that's at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And, of course, go to the live stream message board. And some are already there. I see Rodney Jones is saying, that's the mayor, Rodney Jones. Mayor Rodney Jones, Queensbridge Houses, is saying, Inner City Blues make me want to holler and throw up both my hands. All right, Mr. Mayor, you going into the old school stuff. I like that. Yvette Yates is saying good afternoon from St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis in the house. Good to know that. Sister X7 is saying good afternoon from New York, and Demetrius Jones is saying the president is calling for the execution of Democrats who spoke out against military illegal orders. Now, let me start right there, because Demetrius is right on. When some Democrats, senators, made a video, all of whom have military background, all of whom served in the military, served in the country, and they said that you do not have to obey illegal orders. President Donald Trump came back and said that they are committing sedition and that they could be killed for that. Said George Washington would have shot him. I'm not making this up. This is what he said. Now he pulled back and said, what I was defining what sedition is. With all of these crazies out here, and he himself shot once, and there was a planned assassination attempt another time. Why would he even throw that violence out there would wake up some person that's not well to go and execute one of those senators that made that film? First of all, it is not sedition. Second of all, why would he put them in danger's way? This president, I keep telling y'all, is insensitive at best. Other part I want to open up with is that the GOP is now saying, according to sources, that they are not committed to come up with a health care plan before the extension ends December 31st. They have no consensus on what to do. And it seems like it is going to be a reoccurring problem. Mason Jackson is saying, good afternoon, Reverend Al Sharpton, coming from Georgia Peach. I believe we, the people, deserve a $4,000 stimulus check, government shutdown. I agree, but we may be back in a shutdown if they don't come with what they're supposed to for the Affordable Care Act. So that is at the top of my concerns. Senator Tom Tillis, Republican of North Carolina, said if we don't address the subsidies issues in December, I don't think it will get addressed next year. And he said this to reporters on yesterday. He said, I see the political stop on Democratic side just churning up all the very sympathetic stories that are going to result if they don't come up with a reasonable plan. No doubt about it. That's what the shutdown was about. They said they would debate it afterward, and now they're saying, well, we ain't budging. I hope the Democrats don't budge either. They went 43 days. I'll give them that. I'd have kept going. And it looks like they may have to go in January. Today also, Trump is supposed to be meeting with New York City's mayor-elect, Zohran Mamdani. And Mamdani called me last night. I gave him my 2 cents, my advice. I understand he was to call Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, and I can't think of the other, but it was like 4 of us the New York Times mentioned. But I gave him my advice, and the meeting should happen shortly, I guess, this afternoon. But I told him that you can meet, you don't know which Trump you're going to meet. Trump can be charming, endearing, and then you walk out and he'll get on Truth Social and call you a communist and everything but a child of God. Or he may want to meet with you and have a confrontation like he did with Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, and use you as a prop to beat up on to try to get people's mind off of Epstein. Whatever Trump you meet, keep your eye on the prize. You're there to help affordability in the city of New York. You're there to make sure that the rights of citizens are not violated in this deportation he wants to do. Just stay at your level. Let him clown if he's going to clown. Let him try to con you if he's going to try that. That was my advice. We'll see what happens this afternoon. So it's a lot happening. I'm taking your calls, 1-877-532-5797. Eric Bates says, good afternoon, Rev, from Beach Island. Beach Island, South Carolina, James Brown's home. We need to turn up the heat on the Democrats. Let's keep the logs on the fire. And you know I love that, Eric. And I spent many a day and night in Beach Island at James Brown's estate. Near and dear to me. One of the greatest influences in my life. So you know I'm about keeping the fire on. I see Georgia Daniels saying, good afternoon, Reverend Sharpton. Praying and preparing, keeping it real in Toledo, Ohio. So we have people all over the country that are on from Georgia to Ohio. I think the first one I read was North Carolina, and I love that. Know that people everywhere, so y'all don't think I'm just saying something when I say you'll be heard nationwide, every state and every region of the country, because they are writing in, calling in, and I'm looking for it. The democracy.fund says horror films can't compete with the walking nightmare of Trump 2.0. No doubt about it, democracy.fund. And I think I asked yesterday where Disco Bryant had gone. I think that's his site, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's get ready to take a break, and I'm going to open up the phones, 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Sharpton, keeping it real. Be right back.
So it's become almost an unhealthy habit how much I'm listening to Keep It Real, because it is the realest thing on the air anywhere, whether it be online or whether it be on the radio or wherever it's coming into you from, because there's no one of Rev's importance and caliber who is as dominant a media figure as he is, who allows people to speak at length, and who he treats with equal respect and admiration with every call, whether he agrees with you or not. And I'm not gonna throw shade at anybody, but there are a lot of people with big platforms like the Rev has who are afraid to talk to the people, and who are afraid that the people will keep it real with them. And he never shies away from anything any of us want to talk to him about, and he doesn't shut you up. It's not a soundbite, it's a conversation. So I would like people in media to learn from this man who is carrying MLK's torch. Don't be afraid of people. Listen to them, respect them, and stand in God and stand in truth. Thank you, Nan. Thank you, Rev. Thank you, everybody who puts this together and sends it out across the world, because we need much more of it. Bless you.
Hey, what's up? They got, they're doing, thank you. They're doing, what's on your mind? Yeah. All right, then, you got a birthday this week. I got to talk about that.
Oh, no.
Happy birthday this weekend. And Carrie White's birthday, right?
Corey's birthday's today.
Yeah, and I got to tell Rev Bird, be ready, Daniel, 5th chapter, I want him to read. And I'm ready. Got a message from today, so we'll be on the air in what, half hour?
About a half hour.
You should tune in to the WBLS 107.5 FM and National Impact and www.nationalnetwork.net. All right, I'm ready. Make sure you operate on time, or I'll tell them how old you are. Do I seem excited? I am excited because this Saturday, the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally starts live on WBLS 107.5 FM in New York. We're going to expand. Every Saturday morning, we're live on WBLS 107.5 from 10 a.m. to 11. You'll hear the message. You'll feel the energy. You'll be involved. You won't be sitting around talking about, oh my God, look at what's happening. You'll be involved in dealing with what's happening. I'm excited, and you should be excited to turn on WBLS 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. I have a message for you, and if you want to, you can come to the House of Justice and be there live, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. We kick off at 9, and we don't stop until we deal with getting our people energized. I would argue that DEI is a result of those that by law and later by enforcement would not deal with diversity, would not deal with including people of color, gender, sexual orientation, as well as disabled. And the conscious effort by government and the private sector to begin to equalize the opportunities of this country was something that makes it more humane and fair for all of us. To DEI diversify. It's not based on the lack of merit. We could not show our merit because we were extremely pompous conservatives that talk about we want a society based on merit. Well then, if it's based on merit, then why did you discriminate based on race and gender? Until they cut off much of the population and then had merit between white males. That was what they meant, not merit. Let's have real merit, but let's also make up the ground that those of us with merit was not able to compete. No justice, no justice, no justice. What do we want? What do we want?
We are the sons and the daughters. We gotta stand up and make it loud. Just like our God told the Pharaoh, let my people go, go. We are a new generation from the ones who have come before. He's calling us into freedom. Let my people go, go. We're gonna shine up and shade. Give me a papa glory, make the heavens. If you don't say you know I'm trouble, let my people go, go. The blood, sweat, and the tears that we gathered through the years. If you don't say you know I'm trouble, let my people go, go. Wade in the water, we did wade in the water, children.
Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Let's go back to the phone. Attorney Jennifer Jones Austin. You know, every day, Monday through Friday, I do 3 hours a day on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. I do 1 hour on Sunday mornings with Reverend Al Sharpton. And I'm live on radio and TV with the Saturday Action Rally. 7 days a week, I talk to our people, hear from them, the call-in. I'm sick and tired of people talking for people that they don't talk to. So go on www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Listen to my show, call in, express your opinion. You don't have to agree with me. But let's start talking to each other rather than about each other and lecturing at each other. Let's keep it real with Sharpton.
You live, Rev.
Keep it real. Keep it real. I'm your host. Keep it real. Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. Keep it real. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. It's Exhale Friday. Whatever's on your mind, whatever's in your heart. I've gone over some of the headline stories, and you can comment on them. Or you may have heard a story or a situation that you think needs to be addressed that I didn't mention. That's what Exhale Friday is all about. We want you to go in the weekend having unloaded whatever's in your heart and whatever's on your mind. Let me say by way of announcements, don't forget, watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live on MSNOW, MS Now, MSNOW, and of course that's formerly MSNBC, same station, same shows, and of course I'm on 5 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, and 5 p.m. Sunday. I've already booked some members of the Senate, the governors, the people to deal with this whole question of sedition. Trump literally putting the lives of people at risk. I'm going to deal with the fact that they are now finding out that the grand jury in Virginia that indicted John Bolton may not have gotten this full reading. And I'm going to talk about all of the people that he went after, Tish James, where all of that came from. We'll have our blow-by-blow of what ends up happening today in the meeting with Mayor Mamdani and of New York at the White House, as well as some other stuff that will come after that I cannot say yet. I talked to Mamdani last night, but you'll know by the time I come on tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. I'm going to have the people in the thick of the thick that'll be on the show. You going to want to see this. You that in the New York area, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, meet me or beat me tomorrow morning to the Saturday Action Rally at the House of Justice, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. And, of course, that is in the village of Harlem, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'll be there in the morning with my Thanksgiving prep message, preparing you for Thanksgiving this week, what it should be, what it shouldn't be. And then, of course, you that are engaged in Thanksgiving, a lot of people, because of a lot of things, affordability, the shutdown, some just can't make it. Well, you can have a Thanksgiving with us on Tuesday starting at 5 o'clock. If you don't have a turkey or you know someone that needs one, we'll be giving out turkeys till they give out, a few hundred, at the House of Justice. I'll be there myself, 5 p.m. on next Tuesday, 5 p.m. on Tuesday the 25th, and you can be there and get a free turkey from me. I'll be there, the 25th, which is Tuesday, and I'll be there 5 p.m. until we give out. Then on Thanksgiving Day, we have our Thanksgiving meal right there at House of Justice, and we have it with homeless and seniors that don't have family, and some come and help serve and then go home to their family dinner. We start at 11 a.m. in the morning, and they're all day. So people, if nothing else, they have family with us. And we have done this for over 30 years. National Action Network will be 35 years old next year. So if you want to help, either give away turkeys or help getting the meals served on Thanksgiving Day, Or if you need a spot to bring your family, call 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651, or go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and say, I want to come serve. I got to come early and leave because I'm have a serve at home. Or I got to come early. I want to stay all day, and I got my cousins from the South with me. Whatever it is, or I want to come serve and then stay. Make sure you call 1-877-626-4651, or you can go to our website at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. All right, and I want to make sure that you are covered. All right, let's get ready to go to the phones. 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Let me start, and I love to end the week with my beloved Miss Eunice, my dear friend, the beloved Miss Eunice in Chicago, Illinois. Miss Eunice, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Good afternoon, Rev. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Yeah, I'm keeping Reverend Jackson in my continuous prayers. And you know, Reverend, it's so much going on, you don't know where to start. But, you know, no other president has done what Trump has done. And it is dangerous what he is saying. And it rings in my ear constantly what Mary Trump said about her uncle, Donald. She pleaded with voters not to return him to office and that he was dangerous, as she hit the nail on the head. And these elected officials are letting Trump make decisions when they should be doing it. And I believe in freedom of speech, but Fox News has taken it to a new level. There is nothing the FCC can do. They just lie for the sake of lying, and that can become very dangerous and get people killed with what they're saying.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Between him being Trump, saying it's sedition and people could be shot, and then the other people that are off the deep end on the right, nothing could be more dangerous. You're absolutely right.
And the elected officials, I think, have let the women down. Do they have wives, mothers, and daughters? On this Epstein scandal, it should be farther along than what it is. They just sit there and do nothing. And Vance is the biggest liar of all times also. So you take care. We'll just pray for the best because something has got to give. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Always good to hear your voice, and we definitely need to work and pray. Absolutely, absolutely. Richard Sapp is saying on the message board, it's absolutely disgusting, shameful, and embarrassing to have such a despicable, unhinged maniac running this country with no one to stop him. Why don't you tell us how you really feel? I mean, it is outrageous. I mean, you couldn't make this up in a horror movie. The Mayor Rodney Jones, is saying that nothing like being in the Nan HOJ Saturday morning rally in the village of Harlem. He's there every Saturday. I'll be looking for him in the morning. Absolutely one of the loyal activists extraordinaires. And Charlotte Flowers is saying, amen. Let me go to Carl in Palm Beach, Florida. Carl, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
How you doing, big brother? It's always a pleasure to hear your voice and to see you whenever you are on the planet.
Thank you.
I wanted to say that this week, black men in America, we met with a men's only meeting, and for the first time out of a year or so, Minister Farrakhan made an appearance to encourage us to focus on this time period in which we're in right now, because during the Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Martin Luther King birthday, this is for African Americans. I believe this is our most spiritual time where we get an opportunity to talk to ourselves and try to make some improvements with ourselves so that we can make some improvements in our community. And I just hope and pray sincerely that we will look at our black farmers, because right now we're getting ready to eat meals that are being prepared with GMO and all of those kind of stuff that Bill Gates and all the rest of them been putting in the food. And if we could just get our people to just slow up a little bit and look at some of the activity that they're being guided into, because this is the time period when people that have resources, they spend more money on advertisement. Because if you look at how the Super Bowl and everything, how the advertisement went into a greater degree of understanding because of the people's interest, I think we need to focus on some of that kind of activity. But inside of the black community this week, we as black men, we was focusing on trying to clean our water source inside of our communities. We were trying to look at our housing, and most surely we were looking at our black farmers, because we understand you got to eat first, Al, before you do anything else. And if we can't get the right food, then we're in serious problem.
Absolutely.
And then we were looking at our children, because right now we understand that the miseducation of our children. And one of the other things that I would like to get us to think about, we need to invest in those areas that we're finding great difficulty, because many times we depend on others to support those kind of areas, and they're not going to. So I think it's important that we focus on those things. And I would ask those that have these storehouses, like our Omegas, our Kappas, all our fraternities, our Masonic lodges, and all those places where we've been depositing dollars for like hundreds of years. Now is time for them to take those dollars and guide them towards some kind of real direction, so that we can make some real improvement inside of our community. And we got to understand that it's all about mind control. That's the reason why people spend so much money in advertising and doing all these other social things that they do to us. And I'm sorry.
All right, thank you for your calls, Carl. Always good to hear your voice. I have to take my break. It's Exhale Friday. Keeping it real. Sharpton, 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Be right back. Keeping it real.
In Memphis, Tennessee. And it has been the commitment of National Action Network to always, in the month he was killed, to let them know they killed the dreamer.
I have a dream today.
When they came for the dream. and I think that is extremely important about the funding. But I also want to add how they're changing what can be taught. You have states outright saying you can't teach Black history and you can't teach certain other histories and the curriculum. You have this administration that is literally taking out exhibits from the Smithsonian. So we have not only an education problem in terms of resources, we have an education problem in terms of curriculum and what people are being taught. So I have one grandchild, 6-year-old. When he gets to high school, it may be just against the law for him to learn about certain parts of American history, which includes Blacks. We don't want to talk about slavery. We want to talk about the good side of America. Well, what does that mean? That's not history. Everything was not good. And I think that that is the threat that we've got to fight, which is why we've got to fight with the courts and the streets, because they are literally changing the textbooks as we go. As they do that, they change the opportunities, because then the fight against affirmative action is not having access to these institutions and telling these institutions, this whole fight around DEI, which they did DEI, started in Harvard with a Black woman president. Started with them saying you can't teach diversity in an Ivy League school like Harvard. It didn't start in Little Rock at the high school. This fight, this time, was Harvard. And they went from there on. And I think that we've got to have the same resistance. If they could fight in the 50s, at ACPD with the Defense Forces together and deal with the question from Little Rock in terms of desegregation, then we that are far more educated, far more economically secure personally, have no excuse in the age of what they did in Harvard not to be standing up back in this.
No justice! No justice! No justice! What do we want? What do we want?
We are the sons and the daughters. We gotta stand up and make it loud. Just like our God told the Pharaoh, let my people go, go. We are a new generation from the ones who have come before. He's calling us into freedom. Let my people go, go. We gonna shine and we shake. Give me a papa glory, make the heavens. If you don't say you know what trouble, let my people go, go. The blood, sweat, and the tears that we gathered through the years. If you don't say you know what trouble, let my people go, go. Wade in the water, we did wade in the water, children.
So who is Al Sharpton anyway? Who is this 33-year-old preacher without a church?
A number of Black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to
Hey, my friend.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I am your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. Keeping it real. Exhale Friday. Let's go right back to the phones. 1-877-532-5797. Let's go to CJ in Washington, D.C. CJ?
Yes,
in 45th.
Brother Al,
Yes, sir.
always bringing you love from Union Temple Baptist Church, my brother.
Yes, sir. Great church. Great founding pastor, Reverend Bishop Dr. Willie Wilson. Great family.
Yes, sir. Brother, when I say great, this is a great day in history, I don't mean it when it's out of context in the wrong meaning. Great doesn't mean good. Great mean large in size.
Okay.
So this is a great day
in American history, coming up on the anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Right.
And we need a moment of reflection. They killed him 6 days before Thanksgiving. So imagine what that turkey dinner was like. Now, let's say this, brother. Our dear brother, our black Messiah, was killed for the same reasons, and some of the same reasons that Kennedy was killed, because they spoke out against the Vietnam War. Kennedy was trying to end it, bring the troops home, and our dear black brother Messiah spoke out against it. You can get that piece when he spoke out against Vietnam. Now, brother Al, we can't let this happen again. They cannot have our babies in another justifiable war. As I don't agree, I don't respect the man who is being laid to rest right now downtown, Dick Cheney.
Right.
He should be brought back alive and charged with war crimes over the lives that were lost in that Iraq war, and we know it was all based on a lie. That was totally a lie. And there were over 100,000 civilians, innocent people that was considered of casualties of war, killed in that war in Iraq, and there was over 46,000 Iraqi soldiers killed. There were also over 4,045 and 500 American soldiers killed. We cannot let that happen again. What they are doing and how they are moving in Venezuela, trying to say that these people are bringing drugs, this man is a liar. He said that he was not a war president, but now he's turned. He's making up lies on Nigeria, saying that they are killing Christians. The leader of Nigeria said that is a lie.
Right.
This man wants the oil in Venezuela. He wants the oil in Nigeria. And we cannot give our support to no more unjust wars at the life of our American citizens. Black, red, white, or yellow. We will not support it, and we're not going to fall for the trick. So I just wanted to add that to today's conversation so that people can have a moment of reflection as the assassination of Kennedy is tomorrow.
Yeah,
so, brother, love you, brother Al.
Love you. Thank you for your call. Kennedy was killed. Thank you for your call. I will not forget it, even though I was only about, I think, 9 years old. I had just turned 9. And he was killed November 22nd, 1963. And I remember it. We were still living in Hollis, Queens, my family. My father was still home. And I was going to PS 134, and they closed the school, saying the president has been shot. And for whatever reason, I remembered it down through the years. I think it's probably because it's the first time I heard of violence at that scale. And I lived to get to know John Kennedy Jr. before he died. And I know very well Carolyn Kennedy, his two children. And there's a whole lot of speculation, conspiracy theories, assassination leaks, assassination investigation leaks, but it never, ever escaped me that there was something that was being hidden and not discussed about the assassination of Robert Kennedy. There's no doubt in my mind. On the message board, Roderick McCoy says, I applaud the military leaders who put out the message to let others in the military know that it's okay to disobey an illegal order no matter who orders it. And I salute them as well. I absolutely agree with you. Let's go to Mike in Erie, Pennsylvania. Mike.
Hello, Reverend. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Hey, I had a question about how many times do you think in American history has an individual or a parolee been murdered by their parole officer?
Murdered by their parole officer?
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't know.
Well, I would like to bring to the attention, please and thank you, my cousin.
My bad, Rev.
Was murdered by his parole officer here in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Somebody said something.
And it's the second time in American history. And we have now, since July 2nd, have not heard any answers from the DA's office 141 days later. And
I can pick him up.
Crump came to Erie, Pennsylvania to support us. We haven't heard anything back from the DA since that day.
All right, hold on a minute. Get y'all pick him up. Get the information. Let me get Nash Action Network Crisis. See if we can do something on this. Because I need the particulars. I need us to look into it. So pick him up. Get me the information. Thank you for your call. Let me go to Super Rash. What is it? Rashidi.
That's Rashidi. Yeah.
All right, Super Rashidi in Detroit.
Hey there, Rev.
Hey.
That's Super Rashidi. Yep, Super Rashidi. So, hey, Rev, Larry Elder is calling you out, but I want to discuss that.
Who?
After Larry Elder is calling you out. He on Twitter trying to clown you, so that's the guy that I wanted you.
Well, I didn't worry about
that's
Larry.
The guy that I wanted
if you
to
call me
say.
about Larry Elder, let me go in there. Look, in the words of my fellow Brooklynite, I got 99 problems. Larry Elder ain't one of them. I wouldn't waste my breath on Larry Elder. Do you hear me?
Hello?
Okay, let's go.
Yes, I can hear you. I wanted to discuss something else.
All right, please don't call me up about no nonsense about somebody that doesn't matter to me. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to discuss something else. Now, I had this is going to take like roughly 2 minutes.
Brother,
I know that you're a fair man.
Right.
I've always known you to be a fair man, but I feel like I was treated unfairly last Friday when I called in and said, my name is Super Rashidi, also known as Like Rod.
We're not going to have that discussion on there. I got a lot of callers.
But you didn't give me the chance to explain why.
And I'm not going to give it to you now.
Because
this is not your show. And there are a lot of people who want to talk about issues. If you want to talk about issues, fine. If you want to deal with your name and your brand, I don't do that on this show. And so I'm not going to do it now. When you want to talk about issues, when you want to talk about your feelings, fine. But if we're going to talk about what name you call yourself and another name and all that, we don't have time for that. People don't care. That ain't why they deal with my show. So you can give your real name, your other name, just give me one name, but deal with the issues. We're not going to sit up here and talk about you should have been called something else or I don't know what slang name you got. It's all right with me, but we're not going to discuss it. Let's go to Tommy in Chicago. Tommy, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Amen, go right there. It's not funny, Rev. It is really not funny. You know, it's very interesting, Reverend, that on your show today that you would mention how old you were at the time of the assassination of President Kennedy. Would you believe I was going to Oliver Wendell Holmes and it came across the public address throughout the school that the President of the United States had been assassinated.
Right.
You know what's interesting about that, Reverend? You were 9 years old. Would you be interested in knowing the experience of a 9-year-old child that for 2 years told the father, told the mama, told the teachers, well, and then they beat this child and his 6-year-old daughter and his pregnant mama, and we're sitting up going back and forth. This is in the city of Chicago, Reverend. So you know what? I thank you for being who you are and what you are, and I thank God, Reverend. Rev, I asked your screen. I said, Rev, you know the place you were talking about when you were talking about your heritage, and Rev, you know, a lot of people make a lot of requests of you, man. But man, I'd like to be buried down there, bro. You know what? Not only would I like to be buried down there, but I'm not sorry, bro. But Reverend Sharpton, I hope that you do some kind of tours or I looked at it and all I could do was weep to know that I actually know a person who has this heritage. That's enough to turn a Negro black. Goodbye.
All right, thank you for your call. And no, there's a lot going on. Our heritage is important. Bringing up the assassination of John Kennedy was important. Dealing with this whole question of what's going on, as the brother called about Nigeria and Venezuela. That's why I'm not going to entertain. I keep it real. When people want to get into some, Larry Elder said something and Joe Blow did some wrong show. I keep it real on what is important. I don't have time for all that. Whatever they want to say about me, God bless them and tell them Happy Thanksgiving. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Exhale Friday. 1-877-532-5797. Keep it real.
Thank you so much. My name is True Osborne. Humbled and honored. All right.
Knew love like this before. 'Cause I never knew love like this before.
So good. That was beautiful. Thank you, everyone. I am humbled and grateful to be here with you tonight. I love you too. I love you too. It seems like I've known Reverend Al Sharpton all my life. My mom was such a fan of his, and I've seen him through my life in LA at MCA Records. When I was there, he'd come through, and get those people straight about our contracts and talk about that. And I haven't been honored a lot. Maybe this is my second time, and I'm 68 years old. And I've been in this business my entire life. I've never done what you would call a real job. But I am truly honored and I'm thankful and I love us. I love my black people. And I fight for us, and I want the women, the black women, to really know their worth. Know that they're queens. That's important to me. That's how my mother raised me. My mother was militant, I guess, when it wasn't trendy, yes. Because when I was a little girl, my mother and father would drive in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, do or die. And when she would see police officers handling black children or a black boy or a girl, she would have my father stop and say, she'd get out of the car and she'd say, "What's going on here? Wait a minute, what you doing?" All the time. So it's natural that I'm that way because I'm so tired of seeing our black men beaten with handcuffs. They have handcuffs on. That's important to me. That's my fight. I want love in this world. We're living in some, I love you, I love you. I never knew love like this before. I can't sing because we just finished doing 3 shows back to back. And I flew in this morning, and because Reverend Al wanted me to sing home. There's no way I could sing home, but. Okay. When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. When that makes us tall grass bend into leaning, suddenly the raindrops that fall have a meaning. Sprinkling the sea makes it all clean. But thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I love you. I love you with my life.
Stephanie Mills. Some of you forget where you come from and forget how you got there and act like you got there because you were qualified or that you had a good resume. But some of us had to pay a price for your resume to even be read. Some of us had to take nights in jails and licks upside the head or shut out of boardrooms like Byron so you could walk down red carpets and act like you got there by yourself. So I received this award with a special, special place in my heart and on my shelf because I'm getting it from a freedom fighter who never forgot where he came from and how he got there. Yes, we've come a long way. We've had now a black president and now a black vice president. But we still can get shot down and have to march to get a case in court. We still can get shut out of boardrooms. We're still doubly unemployed in a good economy. So we're going to have to keep marching. And I thank not only my family, a mother that raised me by herself, but I thank that lady at the end of the march that knows she won't be on TV that night and knows her name will never be in the paper, but she believed in me enough to get at the end of the line and make me look good. Because Dr. King used to say, if you call a march and no one shows up, you're just going for a walk. And I want to thank those that marched with me. 32 years ago, here in Los Angeles, we marched. And then many years later, with George Floyd and others, we're still marching. And I'm going to keep marching. I'm going to keep agitating. And I'm going to keep going. Until we don't have to do it anymore. Eddie, known you a long time. Mariah, christen your kids. And I promise you this, the only thing that I really live for is I get up with this dream that every bigot, every racist, everyone in this country that hates will say, damn, he's up again.
I'm here because I must be here. Democracy is not there for the pig, and you have to fight for democracy. That's what it is. What Trump will erase, we will replace.
Is the dreamers in many cases have reversed and tried to turn it into a nightmare. We come to Wall Street rather than Washington this year to let them know you can try to turn back the clock, but you can't turn back time. We gonna keep the dream alive on Wall Street.
And now, America's #1 civil rights leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
You live, Rev?
Keeping it real, keeping it real. I am your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. And you can go on our message board at nationalactionnetwork.net, live stream, put up a message, and I will try to read as many as I can. And I see Rodney Jones, the mayor, saying that the documentary Being Eddie about Eddie Murphy is an excellent watch. Well, I have not seen it. I know Eddie pretty well. I have not seen this documentary, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to have to check that out. And I see that Leslie Jennings saying August 28th, 2025, March on Wall Street. Yeah, we did by the thousands. We're going back more with our shares that we bought. Let me go to our live line, Exhale Friday, 1-877-532-5797. Oh, this is a good one. Abel Mabel. I know that's just a long time frontline foot soldier in the movement. Abel Mabel from Atlanta, WAOK. Abel Mabel? I don't hear her.
Love you, and I appreciate you. I have so many things going on in the country, but I want to say I heard that the president tried to look your way. I said to myself, boy, he made a mistake. Don't start messing with Reverend Al Sharpton because, baby, you activate too much stuff. He's foolish. You activate too much, okay? But I really just want to let you know what I'm doing. Right now in Atlanta, they've been probably throughout the South, they've been raising utility rates like crazy, like 6 rates in the last since 2023. And so that was the election November 4th. And for the first time, 2 Democrats won statewide. So that was a success. You have 2 Democrats on the Public Service Commission won, and one was a black woman and a white guy.
So wait a minute now. So they on the Public Service Commission so they could deal with some of these concerns you raised.
Right, utilities. I mean, any kind of utilities. And they built a nuclear plant. They built a nuclear plant in Augusta, Georgia. And basically, they've been making us as consumers pay for it for the last 7 years at least. And so now what we at is that the Republicans, they vote every time with the Georgia Power, or called a Southern Company. So even though it's a Southern Company, it's so it's throughout the South they dogging us. And so we basically are fighting them. But also in my little neighborhood, in the neighborhood of Martin Luther King, which is Vine City, they want to put second electromagnetic substations in our poor area. And so we said, how many substations can one poor neighborhood take? And so we fighting them for putting another substation in our area. And by getting those two Democrats, supposedly, now they should be able to at least help fight them from keep on raising our rates, as well as what we call environmental justice, because they always putting stuff in poor black neighborhoods. So I'm just giving you an update.
Absolutely. That's important and great to hear your voice. Great to have you still on the case. Abel Mabel been out here a long time getting the stuff done. Thank you for your call. Let me go to our message board. Evangelist Ramsey saying it's SKL Friday. Good afternoon, my shepherd, Reverend Sharpton. How are you doing? You good? I'm good. Viewers, please share broadcast. Invite. God bless everyone. And she is absolutely right. Invite people. Tell people about it. And I think that I see Leslie Jennings is saying, didn't Politics Nation show the election winner from Georgia? I did. The lady was very interesting and knowledgeable about the energy fare increase. You're absolutely right, Leslie, and you watch Politics Nation. That's why people ought to watch it. I already was ahead of the game on that. I look for the stories like that because I don't think a lot of shows will put people on unless they already have some big name and everybody's after them. I want the big issues. People's names should come out of service, not out of non-service. Let's go to Cliff in Connecticut. Cliff, you're keeping it real on XL Friday.
Hey, Rev, thanks for taking my call. You know, Rev, me and you go way back. Well, I'm just kidding, but you know, you definitely put me in my place if need be. But listen, Rev, the issue with Mondani going to visit Trump. Mm-hmm. Now, let me say this, right? And you help me out with this now. You tell me when I'm wrong. Now, when Mayor Eric Adams went and talked to Trump about the issue of illegal immigrants, black folks in New York got mad, and they were totally upset. So now you got Eric, now you have this dude Mondani. I don't know if he talked to the black leadership, but now he's on his way to talk to Trump. So how do black people feel about that?
Well, a lot is going to depend on what he comes out and says. But let me give some clarity. When Eric Adams, who I've known 35 years, was a member of NAN, went to see Donald Trump, we did not know what he was going for. He said that when he came out, he said he talked about city problems. And they asked Trump, you met with the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, what was it about? He said, he needed me to do a favor, and I did him a favor. That's when people got mad. And referring, we assumed, to Eric's, all of a sudden when Trump got in office and the new prosecutor dropped the charges against Eric. So the one that got everybody mad was Trump. Trump said he did Eric a favor, and it had nothing to do with nothing about the city. We asked Eric, what is Trump talking about? Eric let it go. That's was the difference. As far as I know, Mondani is not under any indictment or asking for a favor. So that's why people are not mad. The mayor of New York, usually, because it's the biggest city and culture and all here, meets with the president. That's not unusual. It is unusual for a mayor that's indicted to get his indictment excused, and the president said, I did him a favor. That is unusual.
Well, can I just say this? To the best of my recollection, there was a serious issue, such as Chicago, with illegal immigrants. And what I recall is that Mayor Eric Adams went to Biden to ask for help and funding and couldn't get anything, and then the charges came up.
That he did what? He went to Biden. You're going from Trump
right,
to Biden.
So he went to Biden first because Biden was the president at that time, the end of his term.
And he asked
and
what?
The issue with the illegal immigrants, he asked for funding to help deal with that situation with these illegal immigrants.
And when did he meet with Biden? I was very close with Biden.
No, he asked.
I was close with Biden and Eric, and I don't remember him asking, nor do I remember him going to meet with Biden. When did this happen?
Right. So what I understand is that he made a phone call, and he was trying to solicit, said he need help with funding because there's too many illegal immigrants in Brooklyn and in the city of New York. And to the best of my understanding, my recollection, he didn't get the support he needed. So that's when he went to Trump, and then the charges came.
No,
That's
the
how I could be wrong.
charges had already came. When he went to Trump, the charges had already come. Trump got elected, and Trump's U.S. attorney dropped the charges.
Yeah. So I think the whole thing came about in reference to the illegal immigrants. That's just my opinion.
So you think
And
that, wait a minute, they charged him because he asked for money for the illegal immigrants?
To help deal with the situation with the illegal immigrants.
But why would they charge him for that? Why would they? The crime that they charged him with had nothing to do with illegal immigrants. So why would they charge him?
Right, but
every Democrat in the country, mayor and Republican, was asking for help with illegal immigrants. Why they indict Eric Adams?
Right, and they couldn't get it. So even the situation with Chicago.
But did anyone get indicted in Chicago? They asked for money. What you're trying to get around, Cliff, is what Eric can't explain. Is what was Trump talking about when he said he asked me for a favor and I did him a favor? He didn't give him no money for immigrants.
You're right, Rev. You got me.
All right. Thank you for your call. Keeping it real. That's what I do. Sharpton. That's my name. Be right back.
Who is this 33-year-old preacher without a church?
A number of black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me, and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you know, you're very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They call me everything but a child of God.
A blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I
a race
had to
baiter.
learn.
Yeah, right.
I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing. And I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are, and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that call me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustler and all, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address and what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship.
I remember that most of the youth around Al's age, he was about 12, wanted to be like Connie Hawkins, a great basketball player, legend, or Earl the Pearl, or Clyde Frazier. Al wanted to be like Adam Powell, a powerful preacher with a social justice gospel. He was very close to, at that time, to Reverend William Augustus Jones, powerful preacher and social justice advocate, and Reverend Gardner Taylor State right down the street, and Bishop Washington, whose church he came from, and Reverend Sandy Ray. He wanted to be like these giant preachers. He wanted them to have the edge, however, of the King's social justice dimension. He wanted to be like them, now he's one of them. Perhaps taller than most of them because of the risks he has taken and the reward God has given him with his gift. I remember so well that I first escorted him to jail. He was around 13 years old, with the jail fighting the ANP. He was in the lineage of our struggle. He grew up in it. We didn't just see him on TV one night. He didn't happen. He came bottom up, not top down.
Democratic presidential candidate, Reverend Al Sharpton.
Thank you. Tonight, I want to address my remarks in two parts. One, I'm honored to address the delegates here. Last Friday, I had the experience in Detroit of hearing President George Bush make a speech. And in the speech, he asked certain questions. I hope he's watching tonight. I would like to answer your questions, Mr. President. To our chairman, our delegates, and all that are assembled, we're honored and glad to be here tonight. I'm glad to be joined by supporters and friends from around the country. I'm glad to be joined by my family, Kathy, Dominique, who will be 18, and Ashley. We are here 282 years after, right here in Boston, we fought to establish the freedoms of America. The first person to die in the Revolutionary War is buried not far from here, a black man from Barbados named Crispus Attucks. 40 years ago, in 1964, Fannie Lou Hamer and the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party stood at the Democratic Convention in Atlantic City, fighting to preserve voting rights for all Americans and all Democrats, regardless of race or gender. Hamer's stand inspired Dr. King's March in Selma, which brought about the Voting Rights Act of 1965. 20 years ago, Reverend Jesse Jackson stood at the Democratic National Convention in San Francisco, again appealing to preserve those freedoms. Tonight, we stand with those freedoms at risk and our security as citizens in question. I have come here tonight to say the only choice we have to preserve our freedom at this point in history is to elect John Kerry, the President of the United States. I stood with both John Kerry and John Edwards over 30 occasions in debates during the primary season. I got 80 of them. I watched
Keeping it real.
I observed their
Keeping it
deeds.
real. I'm your
I looked
host,
into their eyes.
Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're
They are
back.
men who
1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Twitter.com, The Rev Al. Twitter.com, The Rev Al. Or go to the message board at nationalactionnetwork.net, and we will read your messages. Democracy.com said, what's Zoran's view of Trump's Oval Office meeting with Syrian president and former al-Qaeda terrorist leader? It's a good question. I will certainly ask him when I talk with him. I do not know if that'll come up today, but we'll see. And I see Leslie Jennings saying the democracy.fund, it will be difficult task. Religion and politics are opposite views in that case. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair. Let's go to Still Bill in Cincinnati, Ohio. Still Bill, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
This is the day the Lord made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Good afternoon, brother.
Good afternoon.
You are in rare form as always.
Thank you.
I just want to give a shout out to Lincoln Ware, Terrence Howard, and the staff at WBBZ The Buzz AM radio station, to where I listen to this excellent show. And I want to give a shout out to your best friend in Chicago, Eunice.
Yeah.
I would love to collaborate with her on some notes and everything and all that. As always, I put my trust in God. Donald Trump is just a man who is just corrupted. He's out to destroy the world and everything. So what we need to do is we need to keep our focus on God. And he is the one who counts the most. He is my judge. He is my jury. He is my president. And Reverend, I thank you so much as always. I will always praise you for your stellar work for what you do. I saw Politically Correct last week, and I was very intrigued. So you keep up the good work, and to your daughter Dominique, I will keep it real. Thank you for the opportunity.
I will tell her thank you still, Bill. And Michelle Fralick says, my question is this. What is the most effective approach to make great impact on their clouded mindset to make them believe that they are worthy of living their wildest dreams? And I guess she's saying when she says them, or she's talking about young people. I don't know exactly who she's talking about. But let me approach the question this way. Okay, she says the first part of that is our communities seem to be their location of choice, but why are we considered the path of least resistance? That's Michelle Cooks. Let me say this. I think that, let me try to answer both questions. The first one to tell people to live out their dreams is first and foremost, I tell people all the time that what the millions of people that sought to have children and did not find it possible to have them. Then you had millions more that had children that never reached birth. I say that to say, if we are among the millions that were born, why do you think we were born and not discounted? It is my belief that we were born for a purpose. Everybody is born for a reason. Everybody's not born for the same reasons. Everybody's not born to reach the same stature. But everybody here is born for something. Everybody, everything serves a purpose. We don't know the timetable, and I believe that it is our duty in life to find our purpose. And you will know when you find it because it will connect with your inner feelings. You'll light up like a light bulb, and you'll say, wow, they got it. I know in my life, I started as a boy preacher, and as I got older and had more opportunities to do different things, it just didn't click for me. And what clicked for me is like putting password in your cell phone. It turned on was me doing ministry and social justice. Now, once you find out what is your calling, what turns you on, what lights your bulbs up, then you will know that that was put and planted in you, which therefore makes you worthy, because it wouldn't have been planted in you if you couldn't do it. Reason why a lot of people don't ever come into feeling they're worthy is they try to do things that their passions and their mindset is not connected to. So it's not that you are a failure, it's that you're failing to connect to what is laid out for you. I honestly believe that. That's my feeling. I have had friends that have gone into business, made a whole lot of money. I've had friends that have gone into political office and got a whole lot of power. And they don't understand why I didn't do either. I've been around people where you can make a lot of money. I do all right, but I'm certainly not a billionaire. And I've been around people that have a lot of political power. I ran for office to make a point, never really concerned about being in office, but had enough popularity I could have done that. I am fine at what I do, social justice work, social justice ministry, and media. And the way you tell people, the way you show people that they're worthy is tell them to connect with their life purpose. God didn't make a mistake when he made any of us. He let us come through this. He let us survive the pains of birth all the way through the pains of adolescence, the challenges. You know how many mistakes all of us made that we could have been gone a long time ago? But somehow we're still here for a reason. If you connect with that reason, your worth is in your discovering I'm here for a reason, not just for a season. Now, I will say that most people come and go and never really think about it. They just go along to get along. But since you raised the question, I'll give you my answer, and I really believe that. And I hope it helped answer your question. Let's take a break. Be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, right after this.
Joining James Brown, Muhammad Ali, and myself now from New York City is the Reverend Al Sharpton. And Mr. Brown, James, I'd like to ask you about this young man, how you came to meet him, and what the National Youth Movement, which he represents, is all about. Tell me something about that.
Teaching young kids the right way to go, and the things to be involved in education. Don't be a dropout, which is one thing I'm very much behind. Unless kids have guidance, they have no place to go. And the idea is to try to mold them. I mean, we think of anything, we think of it as a baby. And what we molded them to be is what it will be later on. He used to stand at my back door, and he believed in what I said, the Don't Be a Dropout program, and the fact of helping kids and giving them the right idol and the right image to go with, cleaning, grooming, and wanting to work, wanting to be something. I started as a kid, a juvenile delinquent, and everything. Had no model. And I was able to be a model for a young man like this. And what he turned out to be, he's a minister, and he preaches the right thing, and I'm for him 1,000%. I'm for everything he's about.
Mr. Sharpton, how national right now is the National Youth Movement? Is it something new? Has it been going on for a while? Do you have a stated number of members? Tell me something about it.
Well, we don't really get into a numbers game because that's been a trick that has been played for the last 20 years. What we're basically interested in doing is saying to young people of impoverished backgrounds that there are people like a Muhammad Ali and a James Brown that represents hope to us. Because these people, despite all of the social odds, despite the unemployment statistics, despite the lack of education in their day, were able to grow and be something that we can be proud of. A man like me didn't have a father at home, but I had a James Brown to look up to and would want to sing and dance like him, or Muhammad Ali, who I saw stand up and give away millions of dollars of stamps to the government so that I would have a right to come 10 or 20 years later and try to fight for my kids. So what we're saying is there are symbols and images that kids can look up to and not have to throw a brick through a window, but that can work by the sweat of their brow and succeed, just like these two gentlemen did.
But considering the numbers of young kids today, and Rev, there are hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of kids who really are in hopeless and desperate situations, is it enough to just offer them an example?
You say hopeless, though. Not hopeless.
Well, let's say, well, to them, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids,
it's never hopeless. There's no such thing as hopeless. It's never hopeless. When I got 8 to 16 years for breaking and entering as a kid, because I was hungry, and here I am today, it's not hopeless. Don't say hopeless. Then we're carving out. I don't believe in hopeless. Don't you think it's hope? If you believe in something, try. No such hopeless. I don't believe in hopeless. We're not going to go with that. And I think he's not about teaching them how to get out and fight for themselves. That's what it's about. No, it's not hopeless. Everybody has a cause and everything, but everybody want to live. And I think living is what we're about. We're not going to teach dying. Hopeless is dying.
I agree with you 100%, James. But what I'm trying to ask here is simply saying, you too can be a James Brown or a Muhammad Ali. Is that enough to give a kid who's hungry, who doesn't know where his next meal is coming?
I'll say it.
Give him somewhere to go.
I think it's awful weak to tell a kid, you can be a James Brown, one of the greatest entertainers in the world, and me, one of the greatest fighters. And like you said, the hundreds of thousands of millions of kids that need a break. You can't have that many great people, but they can get educated, they can go to school, they can learn. I'd like to say one thing. We have crime today, it's a big problem. I think they took a national vote on what the people want the government to spend most of the money on, and crime was over national defense. Worrying about Russia, China, outside enemies, they're worrying about inside crime. We have crime today, all type prostitution, murder, exploitation, degradation, and wars of all kinds. And I'm going to tell you why everything's happening. And I think if you're intelligent, you agree with it. If we were riding an airplane and the two pilots died for some reason, is there anybody in this room that can go in the cockpit, pick up the radio, start working it, bring the plane in, depressurize it as it land, and make it, and late at night on a stormy day? You couldn't do it.
Right.
Well, but if you learn how to fly, or if they show you how to fly, you can. Since God made the world and God made us, He sent the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, sent Moses, Jesus, Noah, to show us how to run the world. And God left His laws. If we don't follow His laws, then we crash.
Let me say this, though, Mr. Snyder, in response to your question to Mr. Brown, Mr. Ali. Yes, it is enough to begin with showing them an example, because before you get to education, you need motivation. If you don't have motivation to get out of the bed, you won't make school or the party. And what we try to do by showing a James Brown or Muhammad Ali is not that you can be a great champion maybe like Ali or a great entertainer like James Brown, but if you use the same initiative that they did to make him get up 5 in the morning and run 10 miles and just have a dream and to come back 3 times and accomplish that dream, to have more hits than anybody in the world, even when the music world wouldn't give him credit for it in terms of a James Brown. If you had that initiative to keep working at whatever it is that you're going to do, you can succeed. And what we're saying to them is you may not reach the plateau of public prominence of them, but if you can reach the personal discipline and personal motivation of them, you can reach a plateau in your life. Because it's not about looking for a government handout, it's about looking for a way out, as James Brown said.
All right, and then how receptive are the young people that you tell this to?
Very receptive.
Really?
Very receptive. Very receptive. I think that people have misunderstood that most people of impoverished and depressed areas are not looking for the government to give them something. They just want a chance. I remember when I was a little boy, James Brown used to sing, I don't want nobody to give me nothing, just open the door, I'll get it myself. Well, that's all people want now is a chance. Let me get a piece of the action. Let me get a piece of the pie. Let me stand up on my own.
At one man should have, the major corporations, the government, should get behind him and push the programs that he's about.
Except maybe if he does it himself and gets grassroots support, it's better than having the government stick their nose in because they have a way sometimes.
We're not talking about control.
Yeah.
We're not talking about control. We're talking about a way of start. You know, they have to start. If they fund Chrysler and fund all these different other things, they can fund a small man to get started. Then the private sector will join in. But let them help too. It should be.
Last thing. Somewhere along the line here tonight, we used a graphic saying long, hot summer. Are you in any way, I'm certain you're not predicting a long, hot summer. You're not predicting urban strife. You're not predicting disorder, anything like that.
Well, what I'm saying is, you know, at home you have an oven. There are flames on top of the oven, and then there's heat in the oven. We always discuss whether there'll be a flame on the top, and don't discuss it. There's already 600 degrees inside. I'm not concerned as much about a long, hot summer because it's been a long, hot winter. Yeah. People are unemployed.
Okay.
People are unemployed. People are getting their homes ripped off. Parents' pocketbooks being snatched. As Ali said, crime is at a highest rate it's ever been. So rather than us running around the streets looking for a brick, we should be looking at the fact the brick is already in most people's houses. How do we get the brick out of the house? How do we cool the long oven out? Let's not wait for the explosion and then just cut the flames off upstairs. Let's put the flame out inside. And the only way to do that is everybody to get up and work by the sweat of their brow in America and try to produce, be productive like these two gentlemen have been in their life against all odds. They came up in a world that was alien to them, and they made it. And we can make it if we have the same initiative they did.
Mr. Sharpton, it's been a pleasure to have you here tonight, and I've enjoyed meeting you very much. Thank you for coming by, and thank you, James Brown, for being with us again. Kent, thank you for being here tonight.
Oh, do I seem excited? I am excited because this Saturday, the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally starts live on WBLS 107.5. We're going to expand.
Reverend Al Sharpton,
we're live on.
We're back. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. And it is Exhale Friday. Let it out, let it out, let it out. Democracy.fun is saying on our message board, Lindsay and I are looking forward to tomorrow's training for service at Thanksgiving Day, tomorrow, November 22nd, 10 a.m., 6121 Cedar Avenue in Philadelphia. And that they're going to be training for giving out. We'll be doing training as well as for our Thanksgiving handouts on Tuesday and for our giving away turkeys on Tuesday. And I'll be there myself on Tuesday at 5 at Nan in Harlem. And then we are doing hot meals. We're going to have meals for everybody on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, 11 a.m. in Harlem, and I think we're doing 1 o'clock in Brooklyn. I'm doing 2 locations, Nan is. All right, let's go to Ray in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Buzz. Ray, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton, Exhale Friday.
Yes, sir, Rev. Thanks for taking my call. Rev, a couple things. Trump, he ran on releasing the Epstein files. I was hoping Biden would say, well, we're just going to release them anyway. See what I mean? I don't know why he didn't release them.
Well, I think what they were saying at that point and is that the Justice Department at that point under Garland said that the cases were not closed and that they could not release them until they closed all of the cases. Trump ran on that saying he was going to release them no matter what. He has not done that. So I think that, now I don't know that I agree with what Garland said, but I think that's what he said.
Yeah, also, Rev, Trump, he is crooked and devious enough to get whoever that helps him get, if he does it, gets rid of these files. I don't know if these email files do they have a backup system where no matter what you do, even if you get rid of them, they'll always be there because it's digital. You know, it's email. So will they always be there? I'm gonna have you put on your lawyer hat.
So. I would assume that you can go on the cloud, I think they call it, and bring it down. I don't know how you destroy the cloud. I don't know, but that's the way it appears.
Right.
To me.
Yeah, like I said, he's devious enough to do that, and then he's devious enough to pardon everybody who's involved in helping get rid of the files. So, I don't know if that's a federal thing or a state thing, but Trump is that kind of guy. So that's my exhale, Rev. Enjoy your weekend, my man.
Enjoy yours, and thank you for your exhale. Let's go to Al in Rochester, New York. Al?
Good day, Rev. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right. I agree 100% with the previous caller. He took the words out of my mouth. Who's to say if some of his DOJ folks delete names out of those files, it take a push of a button on the keypad and so forth. But my other issues are I've had it with him up to my neck. He threatened the Democrats with treason and firing squad. He never mentioned anything about January 6th. The minute somebody mentioned his name, it's a whole different story. Now, his only interests are real estate transactions, Gaza, so forth, Israel. He doesn't care nothing about the folks that got killed over there. He wants to build hotels. Secondly, the health insurance companies are denying people's coverages. If your doctor prescribes life saving prescription or treatment, you have insurance companies that are denying patients coverage. And this is white and black. I saw a segment of World News yesterday. 2 black women went to the emergency room in labor. They told them to go home.
Wow.
The one woman got into the car and had the baby in the parking lot. Suppose she had died, and so the hospital turned around, wrote a statement, well, we care greatly about our patients and blah, blah, blah. Well, if you cared, you would have gave them treatment right away.
Right.
So, it's just, I could spend hours on this. And you got a president that doesn't care either way. So I see dark days ahead, very dark. And again, those Epstein files, personally, I don't think you'll ever get to the bottom of it. It's bigger than Watergate. That's all I have to say, Rev.
All right. Thank you for your call, Al. And I think there is a lot, obviously, in my mind, there's a lot there because Trump would not be going through all of these hoops if there was not something there. And I think that it is clear to me that he being Trump, is absolutely trying to protect something of his involvement or someone that's close to his involvement because I just do not understand what now the Congress and the Senate voting to release it. Now they're going to come up and open some new cases to try to use that as a way of not going into the case talking about we can't go because there's still an active case. Now, when Garland said that, and there had been active cases which were known about, none of the accusations was against Garland or Biden. The accusations here, and we've seen the actual text messages where Epstein himself said in a text to Maxwell, Trump knows about the girls. I'm quoting it verbatim. So they can come with all they want about why the Democrats come out with it. It's a good question, but they did not seem to have a personal involvement. I think that the fact is that there's clear indication here. Now, if it were left up to me, I would have told Biden and them if they would listen to release him. I wish they had released him. And it would have been very clear then what we know and what we don't know, but they didn't. And now we have what the Epstein estate released directly says that Donald Trump knew about the girls. All right, Fahima 90 says, I believe that's Fahima. Fahima, yeah. I wish people would stop with Biden administration should have released Epstein files. Maxwell had appeals and it couldn't be released. Okay, that's true. And further, Trump ran on the release of JFK, RFK, and Epstein. That's true. I stand to be admonished. You are absolutely right. They were in appeal when Biden was in, and they could have used that with Maxwell to violate her appeal. So that's a fact. I can't argue with that. And you're right. What happened to Trump's promise? He was going to release the RFK, JFK files and the Epstein files, and he's released none of it. I think that's important. I think that's important. Gizzy is missed. Says National Action Network, what are y'all thoughts on Trump stripping the professional title away from nurses and ECT, and can it be reversed? I've got some people looking into this. I've heard about this, and I've told some lawyers that I want to be able to address that, but I want to know what I'm saying. So hang with me to early next week, and I'll be able to give you a better indication of whether or not they can reverse it. I think it should be reversed. And on the face value, I do not understand why it was done in the first place. It is next to ridiculous, if not totally ridiculous. But I want to be able to address it intelligently. I don't like to say, yeah, and then we can't get something done. 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. And I'm seeing now that Mayor Mondani is at the White House, and they will be, I assume, when he comes out, talking to him. And I know around 4, right after I get off of this show, I'll go on MS Now and comment on what happened. So when y'all hear me rush out of here, I'll be rushing over to MS Now Studios and find out exactly what happened and say whether I am displeased or pleased with whatever was done. I talked to Mondani last night, and we'll see what he does. And I'll be right on Nicole Wallace's show at 4 o'clock to talk about it, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And I think I'm going to do Michael Steele and Simone tonight about 7. Because I'm going to have a lot to say. This is something that I hope is handled in an appropriate way. All right, let's take a break. Be right back. Keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it real. Sharpton. Exhale Friday. Be right back.
We have a young man in the studio who I think is an astounding young brother because of his youth. He's only 19 years old, and he's accomplished a lot, and he's here to make a presentation to James Brown, and we'd like to welcome him warmly. His name is Al Sharpton. How about if Al Sharpton? Al is the National Director of the National Youth Movement Incorporated. Right, Al?
That's right.
And what do we have here?
Well, we come to break tradition. We know that in the recording industry that they give a gold record to those that achieve a million seller. But we view your million seller payback as a black record because it is relevant and says many of the things that young blacks have tried to say and could not musically express in our own little way. And we feel the payback is sort of like the theme song of Young Black America in 1974. Yeah.
Now, before you go into the title tune of your latest album, you have a special guest.
Yeah, I do have a special guest, a young lady.
That's going to perform with you?
Yeah, she
Rev, you know, you were right there
From the beginning.
with the stuff that was going on in Brooklyn at that time, at Howard Beach. You were right there.
He had in one of the early movies, he had my name. Then he put me in Malcolm, and I wasn't even old enough to know Malcolm. So we've been through it all.
For those who see Malcolm X, it's 3 hours. But fast forward to the scene with yourself, Bobby Seale.
Right. Bobby Seale, Denzel, and me.
Yeah.
Denzel was on the set.
Now, let me ask a question. What was your weight on that scene?
I probably about 270. I was bigger then.
Yeah.
Still had the hair, man.
Yeah, you had the head on.
Yeah, it was
Denzel, yourself, and Bobby Seale.
Yeah, all in one scene.
And also, there was no cut, so we went like this.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Only Spike could have done that.
It's my brother right here.
My baby.
Brooklyn's in the house.
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn's in the house.
BK.
Democratic presidential candidate, Reverend Al Sharpton.
Thank you. Tonight, I want to address my remarks in two parts. One, I'm honored to address the delegates here. Last Friday, I had the experience in Detroit of hearing President George Bush make a speech. And in the speech, he asked certain questions. I hope he's watching tonight. I would like to answer your questions, Mr. President. To our chairman, our delegates, and all that are assembled, we're honored and glad to be here tonight. I'm glad to be joined by supporters and friends from around the country. I'm glad to be joined by my family, Kathy, Dominique, who will be 18, and Ashley. We are here 282 years after, right here in Boston, we fought to establish the freedoms of America. The first person to die in the Revolutionary War is buried not far from here, a black man from Barbados named Crispus Attucks. 40 years ago, in 1964, Fannie Lou Hamer and the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party stood at the Democratic Convention in Atlantic City, fighting to preserve voting rights for all Americans and all Democrats, regardless of race or gender. famous stand inspired Dr. King's March in Selma, which brought about the Voting Rights Act of 1965. 20 years ago, Reverend Jesse Jackson stood at the Democratic National Convention in San Francisco, again appealing to preserve those freedoms. Tonight, we stand with those freedoms at risk and our security as citizens in question. I have come here tonight to say the only choice we have to preserve our freedom at this point in history is to elect John Kerry, the President of the United States. I stood with both John Kerry and John Edwards over 30 occasions in debates during the primary season. I narrated them, I watched them, I observed their deeds, I looked into their eyes. I am convinced that they are men who say what they mean and mean what they say. I am also convinced that at a time when a vicious spirit in the body politic of this country that attempts to undermine America's freedoms, our civil rights, our civil liberties, we must leave this city and go forth and organize this nation for victory for our party and John Kerry and John Edwards in November. But let me quickly say, this is not just about winning an election. It's about preserving the principles on which this very nation was founded. Look at the current view of our nation worldwide as a result of our unilateral foreign policy. We went from unprecedented international support and solidarity on September 12, 2001, to hostility and hatred as we stand here tonight. We can't survive in the world by ourselves. How did we squander this opportunity to unite the world for democracy and to commit to the global fight against hunger and disease? We did it with a going-alone foreign policy based on flawed intelligence. We were told that we were going to Iraq because there were weapons of mass destruction. We lost hundreds of soldiers. We spent $200 billion at a time we had record state deficits. And when it became clear that there were no weapons, they changed the premise for the war and said, no, we went because of other reasons. If I told you tonight to let's leave the fleet center, we're in danger. And when you get outside, you ask me, Reverend Al, what is the danger? And I say, it don't matter, we just needed some fresh air. I have misled you, and we were misled. We are also faced with the prospect of, in the next 4 years, that 2 or more Supreme Court justices' seats will become available. This year, we celebrated the anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education. This court has voted 5-4 on critical issues of women's rights and civil rights. It is frightening to think that the gains of civil and women's rights and those movements in the last century could be reversed if this administration is in the White House in these next 4 years. I suggest to you tonight that if George Bush had selected the court in '54, Clarence Thomas would have never got to law school.
civil rights leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Good night, Rev. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I am your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. And you can go to the message board at www.nationalactionnetwork.net, and you can give us a message on this XL Friday. We're joined, as we are every Friday for the last hour of the show for the week, by the senior pastor of the historic King Solomon Baptist Church of Detroit, and, of course, head of National Expansion, Michigan State Chairman of National Action Network, the Reverend Charles Williams. How you doing, Reverend?
All is well, Rev. It's always good to be with you. I tell you, this has been a jam-packed week, as many people have seen across the country, have seen that the president is on the carpet, and there are those who are looking at representatives all over the country and senators all over the country in regards to what this 2026 election will look like. I tell you, we can look at it, we can talk about it, we can complain about it, and we can be concerned about a president that was involved with somebody who is very concerning to many of us across the country. But if we don't do nothing about it, we're going to be in trouble. And so I want to invite folks to get ready. I know you're about to eat from now all the way up into January 2nd, from holiday parties to home parties. But now it's time for us to prepare ourselves, get ourselves ready, get our minds ready, our bodies ready to get out there and educate our folks and get them out to vote all across this country where we can change the tide in this midterm election. If you want to do that, one of the ways we do that is we do that by going and joining together as a group, and we do that with National Action Network, and I want to ask folks to join us to sign up and to stand up with us with National Action Network by going to www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And you say, hey, I don't go online, call 866-626-4651. Reach out to those who are at our national office and tell them, sign me up. I'm ready to get involved. I'm ready to turn the tide. Make this the opportunity that we do it for those who have stood up for us in past.
And I think it is very important that people not either be too over engaged or be so cynical they're not engaged. I use everything to try and become a lesson. So yeah, I have problems with the inception, the original premise of what Thanksgiving was about. But I also know that most of us are going to celebrate it, so use it as a way for us to commune and use it as a way to help feed those that need it. Use it as a way to gather together, because sometimes our cynicism get in the way of our objectives. Let's go back to the phone. Let's go to Cynthia in South Carolina. Cynthia?
Yeah, good afternoon, Reverend Sharpton and Reverend Williams.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'll say the gentleman that called previously about the war in Iraq, he was telling the truth, and what's going on in Venezuela is the same thing. America always telling a lie when it's come down to create a war for them to profit. Only people profit for wars are multinational corporations. They are the ones that are making the money. Wherever the people lose their lives, and they don't value life because they value life, they take care of the people who is in need, and those with no food, those without medical care. Those are the ones they should be taking care of. During Vietnam, I remember as a child, they stated that the spread of communism when they went to Vietnam.
Right.
And that was a lie. It was based on controlling the rice industry. And what America killed for resources and other issues, like Nigeria, that they so interested in the Christians. Well, you got Christians here was standing on line for food. Where was Trump and his warmongers that when it came down to that? Well, they either take care of the people who sit up there starving, or they make an excuse that they on their own. So, and the high mortality rate for black women giving birth, they don't give money to those Christians in the hospital. Women dying for childbirth. You know, so where's the charity and the Christian values there? America don't have any moral values. That's the point. They talk a good game, but when it comes to deliverance, they off the course, and they're the first one to talk about human rights. And that's a human rights issue when you killing people unnecessarily over a lie. Like in Gaza, that was a disgrace. Israel and the United States is blamed for that genocide. Because you want to reduce the population, you create war because you don't have a place for the people, you don't have no jobs for them. So the best way that's out of it is create a war to get rid of them. So that's the only goals I see that America has. I don't see anything else they haven't built over there. You got artificial intelligence coming in. Where will those people go for jobs?
Well, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of people lose jobs under artificial intelligence. Thank you for your call, Cynthia. And what I want to know is what is the plan to offset those job losses and how they're going to regulate artificial intelligence. I think you're absolutely right there. Let me go to message board. Democracy.fund says, I missed the Jon Stewart of 2004. Anyone remember that Jon Stewart named Sharpton as his favorite candidate in 2004 in the Democratic primary? Yeah, you know, I almost forgot that he did say that.
That's right.
Yeah, 20.
That's right.
That was, wow, that was what, 21 years ago. And I just met you then, Reverend
That's right.
Williams, 21 years ago. Let's go back to the phone. Let's go to Howard Backhead in Huntsville, Alabama. Howard.
Hey, good Rev. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm in Battle of the Beast, baby, Alabama, man. But hey, Rev, a couple things. I'll be short. I was in the first grade when Kennedy got killed. I'll never forget that. It was a sad day in Alabama, and but I thought Kennedy was for the French and Vietnam. I didn't know he was against the war. I remember I had my facts on that one. And anyway, though.
There were mixed reports about Kennedy in Vietnam because there are reports saying he wanted to get out, and there are other reports saying he was in, and that's why Johnson had to escalate after he got assassinated. So there's conflicting reports. I've heard a lot of other reasons why they thought he was killed, but that wasn't one of them. But go ahead.
Dig it. And Rev, my man from Germany, the brother, I love his call in.
Right.
But he seems to have a defeatist attitude about the end of the world and yada, yada, yada. One time you said, and I agree with you, when you die, it's when your world ends. I agree 100%. Because anyway, though, that's up there. And one last thing about Williams. When my man called in and said homo amigo, brother, if you can explain to people what that means, because it's a deep meaning about homo amigo, brother, with you and Brother Williams, Brother Sharpton. Love you, man.
I love you. Thank you for your call. Rev Williams.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he said, I heard a lot of he said, but one thing I heard him say, he said, when you die, what you said earlier in the show, when you die, your world ends. I say, hey, thinking through that, one thing I know for sure, you better give it all you got while you're here, because that couldn't be no more but the truth. But when you do the work, like you have, like Reverend Jackson has, like many others have, you make a small indentation, you make a small historical mark that doesn't end. And I think that's what that's why we can't become so condescending and so apathetic about this movement.
Yeah, and I think what Howard was talking about is, people run around talking about when the world comes to an end. When you die, that's the end of the world for you. Don't worry about when the world comes to an end. Worry about when you coming to an end.
Right.
And when you come to an end, Whether the world lasts another 1,000 years or another year, it don't matter to you. You gone. And
That's right.
I think that we get it twisted. That's why I get up every day trying to get done what I'm supposed to get done, fulfill my purpose in life and calling. Because the only thing going to be left after that, after death, is what you did or didn't get done. And believe me, you're going to be dead a lot longer than you're going to be alive. So you better leave some evidence of your existence so that your relatives, your friends, your neighbors will be able to say, yeah, I remember them, they did this, that, or the other, or yeah, I heard about them, or yeah, I read in our family, stuff about them. Because your car, your house, your wardrobe won't mean nothing to nobody. The only thing will matter is what you did that is memorable years after you gone. Live like that. Enjoy yourself, but don't think that it's going to matter 2 minutes after you gone. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Sharpton Williams, be right back.
Thank you so much. I was thinking I was going to prepare a speech, but I can't read those things anymore. Name's Babyface, not Baby Body. But I wanted to, you made me sound so good with those words. I was like, that was me? I was like, when I look at my life and I think of the music and everything that I've done, I used to say that I don't know where it came from. I don't know where the words come from. I don't know where the music comes from. I don't know how I got here where I am, but that's not true. God got me here. This is and it becomes more clear to me every day that's why I'm here. And I don't even know how I ended up standing here, except for the fact that I ran into Al at the Essence. He was walking in the room, and I said, I got to go say hello. And he said, I want to honor you. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I want to honor you. I said, really? Yep. And here I am standing here, and I can well, thank you. I always want to do this, Michael. I love you too. Sorry. But I think of moments like this, I can't help but just think of how proud my mom would be for me standing here. I have to say that just to be standing here and to be invited by Al Sharpton, and I want you guys to really think about this man who invited me here and how he has been fighting the fight for us all of these years. I don't think we give him enough credit. I don't think we give him enough love. Sometimes you just get used to people and you think, well, that's just Al. No. He's more than that. I want y'all to give him really love. Come on, let's give him. It's very true. Because I can remember times, I'm 67 years old, I can remember times in Indianapolis, Indiana. Yeah, it's true, I'm 67. And I can remember times in Indianapolis when I was growing up, and there were places before I was 5 years old that I could not go to because I was black. And I remember how civil rights, how that changed everything for me and for my life, and that I'm standing here today because of all of those changes, and I was able to do the kind of music that I do and do everything because of those things happened. And so for me to accept an award like this, because I've never gotten an award like this before, and so I really appreciate it, and I'm just so thankful, and I thank my mom for giving me the sense to always be humble with my life and to never think that it's all about me. And so like I said, I didn't prepare a speech. I always just wanted to speak from my heart. And I'm speaking from my heart, and I want to tell you once again, Al Sharpton, you are a blessing to us all, and I thank you for inviting me for this, and thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
And I think that is extremely important about the funding. But I also want to add how they're changing what can be taught. You have states outright saying you can't teach black history and you can't teach certain other histories and the curriculum. You have this administration that is literally taking out exhibits from the Smithsonian. So we have not only an education problem in terms of resources, we have an education problem in terms of curriculum and what people are being taught. So I have one grandchild, 6-year-old. When he gets to high school, it may be just against the law for him to learn about certain parts of American history, which includes blacks. We want to talk about slavery. We want to talk about the good side of America. Well, what does that mean? That's not history. Everything was not good. And I think that that is the threat that we've got to fight, which is why we've got to fight with the courts and the streets, because they're literally changing the textbooks as we go. As they do that, they change the opportunities, because then the fight against affirmative action is not having access to these institutions and telling these institutions, this whole fight around DEI, in which they may be at, started in Harvard with a black woman president. Started with them saying you can't teach diversity in an Ivy League school like Harvard. It didn't start in Little Rock at the high school. This fight, this time, was Harvard. And they went from there on. And I think that we've got to have the same resistance. If they could fight in the 50s, the ACP would have been together and deal with the question from Little Rock in terms of desegregation. Then we that are far more educated, far more economically secure personally, have no excuse in the age of what they did in Harvard not to be standing up back in this. Dr. Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. And it has been the commitment of National Action Network to always, in the month he was killed, to let them know they killed the dreamer.
Because I have a dream today.
They can't kill the dreamer. No justice, no justice, no justice. What do we want? What do we want?
We are the sons and the daughters. We gonna stand up and make it loud. Just like our God told the Pharaoh, let my people go, go. We are a new generation.
Back 1-877-532-5797. Reverend Charles Williams is our co-host, and we're taking your calls this XL Friday, 1-877-532-57. Now, as we are being told that New York City Mayor-elect Mandani is in the White House meeting, and we probably will hear from him at the, he'll come to the microphones coming out. It doesn't appear as if they let press in the meeting. Maybe they do it after. But that's interesting. Usually they do it before and take shots. But we'll see how this goes. Maybe Trump want to see how everybody deals with this whole situation. But we'll see. I think it's going to be very interesting to us what transpires and how it transpires and what does not transpire. And we'll be talking about that. You know, Reverend Williams, you all just had a mayor's race there in Detroit. What has been the follow-up as they began the transition to the new mayor from Mayor Dugan to Mary Sheffield?
Absolutely, and I want to say that I really have much hope and a lot of appreciation for Mary Sheffield and her transition team. I think we are in for a treat in regards to her administration. But I do think that it's going to be important, and I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing. How can we ensure that when we have a new administration, that we have an administration that can produce results? You know, the activism is always what we going to do, but we always need to make sure we have elected officials that are going to be able to administrate and they're going to be able to deliver. And that's not always just in our activism work. That's also in our administrative and executive function work.
Absolutely. And see, I think that one feeds the other in terms of you need activism to, one, create the climate where a Mary Sheffield, black woman, first black woman mayor of Detroit, or even a Zoran Mandani can be elected, or a pronounced Democratic Socialist. And you need activism once they're elected to hold them accountable. But you also need them in office to change and get things done. So it's not one or the other, it's one and the other. And I think that sometimes people try to make conflict out of what ought to be complementary. We fought for the right to vote to put people in office, both our people and others that were in our interest. Therefore, we have the right to expect that they're going to do what they say and say what they do. But at the same time, we must remain active because, one, we must hold them accountable, and two, we must protect them because just because you're mad don't mean you run the city council or you run the governor or run the state. So it never stops, and there's a legitimate function for both. And I think that a lot of us miss that. Let me ask you this, as a pastor and as a civil rights activist leader, what is your admonition to people on how they ought to deal with Thanksgiving? What ought to be the things that we think about during this season?
You know, this is the season where, as a pastor, I've always suggested that this has never been about pilgrims and Indians for me. It's always been about being appreciative of all of the things and being thankful for all of the things that God has done for me in my life and for my family and for you and for all of those who are around me. But the only way that I suggest, the best way that I suggest to be thankful is to give, which is why all over the country, National Action Network units and chapters all over the country are going to be giving back to our community from now all the way up into Thanksgiving. I know you're doing it at the House of Justice all day long, and certainly in Detroit we'll be doing it while we be watching the Lions football game, as we always do. I mean, this is a part of, I think, the faith tradition that we walk in. One of the things that I always will never forget about this movement and about this work is that we stand on faith and we stand on hope. Reverend Jackson was one who had who admonishes us to maintain that hope by keeping hope alive, and of course, Dr. King admonishes us to continue to stand on faith as we stand on the rivers of waters. I mean, we really continue this movement in the same tradition. Whether it was Operation Breadbasket or whether it was Rainbow Push or whether it was Southern Christian Leadership Council or whether it was National Action Network, not just in social justice, but also in social service. Jesus fed the people. Jesus turned 2 fish and 5 loaves into bread, 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread to feed 5,000 because he had compassion on the crowd while he was at the same time advocating and fighting for the crowd.
And sometimes I think that we become so holy that we don't become useful. And the expression that we're so heavenly bound, we know earthly good. People care that are hungry about eating. Then you can get to their salvation. And they care about their infirmities. They want to be healed. Then you can get to their salvation. And I think that the whole spirit of not serving people, but wanting them to come to your service is having it backwards. And I think that we're required to do good, whether the people we do good for, do good to is good or bad. We're required to be good. One of the things that I think that, and I tell a lot of the up-and-coming pastors this, is that God never, and the Bible never reflects that people have to be qualified to be helped. That's why we pass out turkeys next Tuesday at Nan, and as you said, many of our chapters around the country, including Detroit, on Thanksgiving Day, you don't have to qualify for somebody to feed you if you're hungry. They're living up to what they're about, not what you're about. And I think that you're handling the work like that is a reflection of you, not a reflection of them. And for somebody to say they come in the name of the Most High and they don't understand why people are hungry and why people this, why people are, whether you understand or not, you are in many ways assigned to deal with it. Somewhere I read in the scriptures, I was hungry and you didn't feed me. Naked, you didn't clothe me. Outdoors, you didn't take me in. So you required what you supposed to do, not what others do. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. It's one more segment, Keeping It Real. 1-877-532-5797. Sharpton, Williams. Be right back.
Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Let's go back to the phone. Attorney Jennifer Jones Austin is. Every day, Monday through Friday, I do 3 hours a day on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. I do 1 hour on Sunday mornings with Reverend Al Sharpton. And I'm live on radio and TV with the Saturday Action Rally. 7 days a week, I talk to our people, hear from them, to call in. I'm sick and tired of people talking for people that they don't talk to. So go on www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Listen to my show, call in, express your opinion. You don't have to agree with me. But let's start talking to each other rather than about each other and lecturing at each other. Let's keep it real with Sharpton.
So it's become almost an unhealthy habit how much I'm listening to Keep It Real, because it is the realest thing on the air anywhere, whether it be online or whether it be on the radio or wherever it's coming into you from, because there's no one of Rev's importance and caliber who is as dominant a media figure as he is, who allows people to speak at length, and who he treats with equal respect and admiration with every call, whether he agrees with you or not. And I'm not gonna throw shade at anybody, but there are a lot of people with big platforms like the Rev has who are afraid to talk to the people and who are afraid that the people will keep it real with them. And he never shies away from anything any of us want to talk to him about. And he doesn't shut you up. It's not a soundbite, it's a conversation. So I would like people in media to learn from this man who is carrying MLK's torch. Don't be afraid of people. Listen to them, respect them, and stand in God and stand in truth. Thank you, Nan. Thank you, Rev. Thank you, everybody who puts this together and sends it out across the world, because we need much more of it. Bless you.
Hello, New Orleans. Let me tell you straight. They did not think we could come and be here tonight. They cut budgets and advertising, but one black man, Rich Newton, said, I don't care. My families come together every 4th of July weekend, and Essence will happen, because that's who we are. Give a big hand to Rich Newton for bringing us back. Of who we are is essential to what made this nation. We built this nation. We made this nation. We created the essential dollars that this nation lives off of. We don't care what bill they pass. We will not back up. We will not back down. We will not give in. We will not be chased out. We don't care in the White House. We will organize our house by house.
We stand with Essence Magazine because that's who we are. So don't give in now. Yes, there's some rough days, but we've been through rougher days than this. Yes, Trump is a bad dude, but we beat badder dudes than Trump. So let's party with a purpose, because our rhythm and our music reminds us who we are. Because we can smile through our pain and organize for our gain. Let's stand up and let's celebrate who we are. Thank you, God bless you.
So who is Al Sharpton anyway? Who is this 33-year-old preacher without a church?
A number of black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, "The two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born." I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things. And I told him, I said, you know, you very young. You don't know the road. Keep it real. Keep it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. And of course, you can go to the message board at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And let me repeat by way of announcements, don't forget to watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton, both tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And I've already booked some of the members of the Senate to talk about the Epstein files. I've got some of the members of Congress to talk about where we are going in terms of the Affordable Care Act being blocked. I definitely want to deal with also how we are dealing with the fallout around the questions of deportation, and of course the issues that we've been talking about all week in terms of how Trump has, I started to handle but mishandled the whole voting rights situation, the redistricting in Texas. A lot of issues. I have the right guests on. Make sure you watch both nights. Tell your friends and family to watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. I'm sorry, MSNOW now, MS Now. And I want you to watch it. You that are in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, meet me or beat me to the Saturday Action Rally in the morning at the House of Justice in Harlem, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And certainly many of our friends are coming in early for visiting family from out of town. Will be with us in the morning. I'll be there giving our pre-Thanksgiving message, what it means, what it should mean. Certainly we want you to be there. And then you that are not in the New York area,
you can watch it live on Impact Television, which is the only black-owned national black gospel television network. Or you can watch it at nationalactionnetwork.net. Then we also urge you to come out, you that want to volunteer and help, on Tuesday at the House of Justice. If you are in the New York area, you can come and volunteer and help us to give away free turkeys to those that need it. I have turkeys I'm going to give to hundreds of people that can't afford it but can cook at home, just don't have the turkey. Maybe they were part of the lockdown. Maybe they are unemployed. Whatever, I don't care the reason. If they need it, we want to be there to give it to them. So you can come and help serve, or come get a turkey if you need one. It's Tuesday, 5 o'clock, House of Justice, 145th and Lenox. And then on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, my family and I spend the whole day starting at 11 o'clock at the House of Justice, and we have our Thanksgiving dinner there with everybody, a lot of the elected officials. Mayor Mandani is talking about coming, and others to help serve. You that want to come and help serve, even if you say, Reverend Al, I'm going to be there at 11 to 12, I got to go home and take care of my family. Do that. Call the toll-free number 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651, and sign up to be a volunteer either Tuesday or Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, or sign up saying, I'm coming to get a turkey, or I'm coming to get a meal. And I might add that this year, we're also going to be, on Thanksgiving Day, going to Brooklyn. And we're going to be, on Thanksgiving Day, we're going to be serving in Brooklyn. And and they're going to start at 12 noon at the John Wesley Methodist Church at 260 Quincy Street in Brooklyn. And I'm going to have my meal with the elected officials, family, pass out some, and I'm going to rush to Brooklyn to be there before they stop. So I'm going to be doing 2 feedings and family situations on Thanksgiving Day. John Wesley Methodist Church, 260 Quincy Street. All right, Reverend Williams, what's happening at NAN Detroit Saturday Action Rally?
Well, Rev, we are continuing to stay right there in the same lane, in the same tradition. As you talked about, we will be having our pre-Thanksgiving message on tomorrow. So join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. Also, if you want to sign up, I want you to sign up. If you want to be a part of what we're doing, sign up tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the historic King Solomon Baptist Church, 6100 14th Street. We're going to be giving away meals on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day. We're giving up some time on Thanksgiving Day, so come on and sign up tomorrow, as well as get a chance to enjoy or get some inspiration as we give our pre-Thanksgiving message and keep this movement going. 10 a.m. Historic King Solomon Baptist Church, 6100 14th Street. See you there.
All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to the irreplaceable, the president of the Greater Cleveland chapter of the National Action Network, Dr. Marcia McCoy. How you doing, Dr. McCoy?
We're doing well. Our Honorable Reverend Dr. Professor Al Sharpton and Reverend Dr. Charles Williams II, Director of the Midwest region, where the Midwest is the best. The Greater Cleveland chapter of National Action Network is pleased to announce our constant campaign focused on us being about us. That's our theme. Every Tuesday we host our ward by ward, block by block training. Charity begins at home and spreads abroad. We just want everyone to know that it's great that our members are central committee members, ward leaders, state reps, commissioners, executive members. The list goes on and on. For radio listeners, call us at 216-374-0913, 216-374-0913 if you want to be a change agent in the Midwest region. We also want to say, I want to say one more thing. Our partner organization is Love in Action, where Action is their middle name, is our middle name, and Action is their last name. Come on, Bishop.
Dr. Al Sharpton.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Al Sharpton.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Charles Williams.
Yes, sir.
Hold my mule, my brother.
I got you, Reverend.
All right. From 1938 to 1956, there was a successful radio quiz game show entitled True or False. The show's purpose was to solicit the truth and the veracity of specified questions. There was also another successful radio game show that became a popular TV show entitled Truth or Consequences. However, this game show does not apply as we fast forward to 2025, trying to ascertain the legitimacy of the President, Donald J. Trump, because the Supreme Court ensured that consequences don't apply to him. So let's ask the first question. True or false? Is it true or false that the present President of the United States, Donald Trump, is a man who has been convicted of felonious crimes, thereby becoming a convicted felon? The answer is true. Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felony counts on falsifying business records in the first degree. Second question. Is it true or false that Donald Trump is a serial and proverbial liar? The answer is true. Numerous news outlets credit Donald Trump as having told over 35,000 outright lies and falsehoods. Question 3. Is it true or false that Donald J. Trump was sued for denying black people access to rental properties? The answer is true. Donald Trump was sued in 1973 and again in 1978 by the U.S. Justice Department for racial discrimination against black and Puerto Rican tenants. Question 4. Is it true or false that Donald Trump makes fun and mocks disabled and impaired people? The answer is true. He has mocked and made fun of disabled people, especially his political opponents, his critics, and journalists. 5. Final question. Is it true or false that Donald is a sex trafficking pedophile, having been known to rape young girls as young as 14 years of age? Whoa. One must be particularly careful about assessing this allegation to an innocent person. You yourself are liable to be charged with a crime for allegedly declaring someone else to be such. Answer. All we know to be true is that Donald Trump has had a 10-year friendship with a notorious sex-convicted pedophile by the name of Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted by a court of law as a criminal who trafficked and molested young girls as young as 14 years of age. Out of the mouth of this low-life creep were the words, and I quote, "I was Donald Trump's best friend," unquote. The big dog had not barked yet. All that we can say is, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. You name it, it's a duck. Donald Duck Trump. Thank you, Dr. Sharpton, Dr. Williams.
All right. God bless you. Have a happy weekend and happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you. Thank you to all of you that called in and listened in. Let me thank Reverend Charles Williams II. And let me thank all of you. Have a safe weekend. We'll be back Monday with the same Keeping It Real. Until then, remember, whatever you do, wherever you go, however you feel, tell somebody, tell anybody, tell everybody. Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Whatever you do, keep it real.